Here's a little game about Aztec lore called Nawalli. And in this game, you're building a little deck of cards, and then you're playing against another player. Now, this says 2 to 4 players, but it is essentially a 2-player game that can be played with people next to each other. In fact, a lot of this game is going to have some similarities to collectible card games or trading card games. I'll show you. At the beginning of Nawalli, you are going to pick a Nawal, and by the way, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing these names here. So you'll start with one of these, and then you're going to be drafting a small deck, or 2 decks actually. One has items and magic spells, and the other has these little creatures that you'll be using to attack your opponent with. Players are going to have a handful of the cards between the different creatures and the different items, and you're going to have this energy that you're going to be getting every turn, and you can save it from turn to turn. You'll be playing these creatures in one of these 4 lanes where on future turns they will be attacking the other person across the lane from them, and if there's no one there, you'll be taking some of these gems. The first person to get all the gems is the winner of the game. Each of these creatures has some tokens on it. Over here you can see their life, so once their life is all gone, they're defeated. This is the energy it costs to bring them out on the board, and this is their attack power. Each creature also has special abilities. This is water, so we would look at this little sheet here, find water on here. So water, 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 there it is. Attacking does 1 extra damage to adjacent rivals. When I attack, it would also do 1 damage to adjacent rivals. You can add items. So this here, the Bone Thorn, this adds 2 attack and also adds death. And so let's pull this back up and look up what death means. You can also bring out your Nawal by paying a certain amount of energy, and they're going to be out on the board and be a powerful creature for you. And that's how you play. Okay, so before we start here, I want to say a couple things. First of all, I think the theme is neat. I think the art for that theme is neat, and that's cool. But this game has one humongous flaw for me. And this flaw makes me not want to play the game. And that is that symbology. And I showed you as I was going through the overview there, like, well, what does this symbol mean? Look for it on that card. What's hilarious to me is the symbols, which then on that card, they're so small and hard to read on that card. They could have just printed the stuff on that card on the cards themselves. But you're never going to remember what all these symbols mean. Fire, water, earth, whatever. And I need to know what they all mean at all times. This game is a very tight game of a back and forth, putting cards in the lanes. Like I said, it feels like a collectible card game because there's a lot of collectible card games that have this lane action. And then you hit, and if someone's not there, you take some of those stones in the middle, which is like hurting your opponent's life totals. And it's small. And yes, I think a lot of this game is going to come down to that draft of cards that you do at the beginning of the game and knowing the game really well. But it's going to take many, many games to get to that point. I think the symbols really hurt it. And so I don't think I can really recommend it. There's some neat ideas in here, but it just didn't jive for me at all. It was too hard to play. And the game itself, which is kind of just move and attack and play cards and make your guys better, there's so many of those out there. The only thing that's really differentiating this one is the theme, and that's fine. I think that's a cool theme, but if you take that out of the game and leave the game mechanisms with the very difficult to figure out how everything works, then it drops it to a 5 for me. So Nawalli is not one that I would recommend.